Rajeshwari MJ. She pursued her BE in Electrical and Electronics at the People's Education Society College of Engineering, Mandya. She pursued her MTech in VLSI Design and Embedded Systems at the Sri Jagadguru Balagangadharanta Institute of Technology, Bangalore. Her personal skills lie in good verbal and written communication skills. Her areas of interest lie in OOPS with C++, renewable energy sources, HVDC transmission, digital relays, automotive electronics, advances in VLSI design. She has also had papers presented at the national level, such as the Innovative Architecture for SoC Multi-Core Hybrid Processor, presented at the RNSIT, Bangalore.
Welcome to UGC lecture series of BSc Physics Honours. Today we are dealing with the subject electromagnetic theory. In this session we are going to concentrate on some of the leftover topics of section Maxwell equation. So in this session we are going to concentrate on Poynting vector and also the derivation of displacement current and also the energy density for an electric field, and finally we go on to discuss about energy density for a magnetic field, that is B field. So very firstly we need to know about Poynting vectors, why it is required in the Poynting vectors, and also what the Poynting theorem states. So we already know about the properties of electromagnetic theory and also the Maxwell's equation. So and also the conclusion that we are made with the help of Maxwell equation. So first thing, that why we need a Poynting vector, in the sense we know that electromagnetic waves consist of energy, it carries energy. So for measuring the energy in electromagnetic waves, we are going to use Poynting vectors. So the Poynting vectors definition says the rate of energy flow per unit area in a plane wave is described by a vector termed as Poynting vector. So the rate of energy flow in a per unit area in a plane wave. So that is, we need to know what is the rate of energy flow per unit area, that will be measured in terms of vector. So that is termed as a Poynting vector. And also one more thing what we need to observe here in this definition, that is plane wave. We are using here plane wave. Plane wave in the sense it is a two-dimensional wave where it will going to extend till infinity. So till infinity it will going to move. That type of wave is called as plane wave. And why we are using plane wave here, in the sense electromagnetic wave is also comes under plane wave, that is why we are using plane wave here. And here we know that which is basically, that is Poynting vector is basically representing like this. It is basically a curl of electric field intensity vector and magnetic field intensity vector. So this is what the definition of a Poynting vector, and how we are going to represent the rate of energy flow per unit area will be represented by this, that is a curl of electric field intensity vector to the and magnetic field intensity vector. So the magnitude of Poynting vector is the power flow per unit area, and it points along the direction of wave propagation vector. So we know that the magnitude of a Poynting vector will be the power flow per unit. That's what the definition, that's why we are needed a Poynting vector. So this will going to describe the rate of power flow. The magnitude of rate of power flow will be defined by this equation, and also the direction of the propagation of the wave can be find out. So next, the average power per unit area is often called the intensity of electromagnetic waves, and it is given by this. So we know the power flow per unit area. So now we are going to have the equations of average power per unit area, that is given by this. S average is equal to 1 by 2 RE, same, that is electric field, curl of electric field into electric field and magnetic field is what gives the average power per unit area. Now we are going to derive the Poynting theorem from the two Maxwell's curl equation. So, let us derive the point from Poynting theorem, that is what is this based on, that is I will discuss at lastly when we are going to derive with the help of this Maxwell's curl equation. So, from previous session we come to know that Maxwell's curl equation will be this, where we can observe that the electric field is dependent on magnetic field and magnetic field is dependent on electric field. So, with the help of magnetic field we can able to create the electric field, and also with the help of electric field we can able to create the magnetic field. So, these are the two equations that we found with the Maxwell's equation. So, this is based on this we are going to prove the Poynting theorem. So, let us start it. From vector analysis we know this is what the vector analysis of a Poynting vector will be. From the very first slide that we got this equation of a Poynting vector. So, this can be rewritten like this, that is H dot and del cross of E, because we are multiplying here everything with the dot product. This can be rewritten like this. This is an identity law. With the help of identity law we can able to write like this. This equation can be rewritten like this, and this term is now going to this del cross E will be written like this, that is H dot minus mu dou H divided by dou T, that is partial derivative of time of magnetic field. Magnetic field will be written here. So, this, and again this term, this minus term of this will be again rewritten here. Here del cross H will be written as epsilon dou E divided by dou T plus J is what the term that we have added here, because this term del cross E is what from the previous Maxwell's two curl equation, that we are substituting that value here for these two equations. So, for these two equations that we got with the help of two Maxwell's curl equations, and now this can be rewritten, this obtained expression, this is in the form of this. So, this is a rule that if it is A dot dou A divided by dou T, which will be always equal to 1 by 2 dou of A dot A, that is vector product of A divided by dou T. So, this will be this equivalent to, so this whatever that we are observing here, this can be rewritten like this. So, here the above equations can be rewritten with the help of this equation. So, this can be the left hand side will be kept as it is now, minus mu divided by 2. So, H dot dou H by dou T, which will be in this form. So, this can be rewritten like this, mu divided by 2 dou divided by dou T into H dot H, again minus of here epsilon, and E dot dou E divided by dou T is what represent this form. So, this again this can be rewritten as epsilon divided by 2 dou divided by dou T into E dot E is what we got, and minus of E dot J. So, this is multiplied by J, E is multiplied by J here, that is what written in the last term. So, this is what the RHS after simplification of the Poynting vector equation. So, with the help of two Maxwell curl equations. So, basically at this point of relation what we find it from this expression is, it should be valid at every point in space at every instant of time. So, the whatever that we are deriving, it has to be proved that it has to be true at every point in in space at every time at every instant. It has to be true or valid, that has to be followed, that that is the true value in every time or every instant. So, next we move on to the power is given by the integral of this relation of Poynting vector, that is over a volume that we need to find the power. So, the power in the sense at a point is what that we previously derived, but power is actually concerned with the total volume. So, now we are deriving that the same equation we need to derive for the whole volume. So, integrating that, which is going to give like this, integrating of the previous equations will be rewritten like this, and again this is what represent the closed volume, and the closed volume are for the surface of closed volume, that is closed loop surface, that is represent the integral of closed loop surface, and this is again rewritten as S dot ds, that is E cross H is replaced by S, that is very first thing, that is E cross H is equal to S is what the definition of Poynting vector says. So, now is S dot ds is what we have already previously derived expression that we got previously with the 2 Maxwell's curl equation, that value is substituted here in this value. So, that will be becoming like minus mu by 2, where it is an integral with the volume. So, d dou divided by dou t h dot h with the where we are deriving with the respect to volume here, and again minus epsilon divided by 2, again integral with the volume. So, dou divided by dou t e dot e, and again derivative of d integral is with respect to volume, minus again integral from with the volume. So, we are taking a particular volume. So, E dot j into dV. So, we can interchange here. So, for simplifying this expression, that what we are going to do, we are interchanging the volume integral and partial derivative with respect to time here. So, here we are interchanging this two. So, now we rearrange the above equation like this, it will comes like minus dou divided by dou t, again taking the integral 1 by 2 mu h square. So, mu is taken inside. So, dou a partial derivative is taken outside. Same thing we followed for other terms, and this is what the equation, and finally, we need to observe in this equation, that is where we find that E dot j, j is the current density, we know that, that is equal to sigma into E. So, here already E is present. So, here it will become E square into sigma. So, next finally, we got the average volume. For average volume, what will be the Poynting vector we found. Now, what is the points that we have noted from with the Poynting vector is, we can able to find the power flow, rate of power flow per unit area in a plane wave. So, this is what we have found out with the help of Poynting vector. So, what does the exactly the Poynting theorem states that? It states that power coming out of the closed volume is equal to the total decrease in electromagnetic energy per unit time, that is power loss from the volume which constitute of whatever the constitution or whatever the it consists of, in the sense rate of decrease in magnetic energy. So, these are the factors that is going to be affects for the decrease in energy of an electromagnetic wave, that are rate of decrease in magnetic energy stored in the volume, and also rate of decrease in electric energy stored in the volume, and also another loss will be ohmic power loss, that is due to energy converted into heat energy per unit time in particular volume. So, the whatever the volume that we concern for finding the power flow at particular area, that area will be having a power loss. So, the loss will comes to consist of all three this, that is magnetic energy or decrease in magnetic energy and electric energy, and also ohmic losses. So, next we move on to that is we are taking last 4 points for a plane wave, that is we need to consider this for a Poynting vector in a plane wave, that is the direction of propagation is always in the same direction as of Poynting vector. So, from the derivation of the Poynting vector, we found that the direction of propagation is in the same direction of a Poynting vector, and also the instantaneous value of Poynting vector is given by, that is the instantaneous values that is given by his that is E square divided by eta naught or h square into eta naught. These two are the instantaneous value that we need to consider for a Poynting vector, and also for this is instantaneous, that then the average value if we consider, that will be, that is E square divided by 2 eta naught, the eta naught or h square eta naught divided by 2. So, this is for average value of Poynting vector. So, next finally, the stored electric energy is equal to the stored magnetic energy is what at any instant is what the conclusion that we comes from the derivation of a closed surface or a volume that we consist that we are taken for deriving the power flow per unit area using the Poynting vector. That is, we can say the total electric field, the total stored magnetic energy is equal to total electric energy. So, that is the total stored electric energy at any instant. That is what the conclusion that we comes to when we derive at finally the Poynting vector. So, let us now assume we have taken the plane wave that is moving in 2 dimensional x and y. Now, we are changing the direction of the plane wave, that is we are assuming here that is the travelling of plane wave will be of plus z direction, that is in free space. Then E is equal to E naught, that is electrical energy will be added with one more term with the z coordinate z here, that is z variable is added for an exponential, that is E naught into E exponential of minus j beta z is what added with the electric field. So, this has to be carried out through wherever that E has to be written in any equations, that whatever we previously considered, there we need to substitute this E with exponential product term with the wherever we are using in the formulas having E term. So, this H that is magnetic field equation now becomes Z into E naught divided by eta naught, that is exponential of exponential to the power of exponential minus j beta z. So, the instantaneous value of the Poynting vector will be like this. So, here we know the E and also we know the H. So, substituting these two values we will get this equation, and after that we need to simplify this for getting a final instantaneous value of the Poynting vector. So, this will be rewritten like this, which will going to be a formula. With the help of formula we rewritten this and multiplying this 2, which will going to give this, and after that finally we are going to get, that is E square divided by eta naught into z is what the instantaneous value of Poynting vector when a plane wave is moving in a z direction, that is plus z direction. If we consider, it is a E naught square divided by eta naught into z is what we got from the Poynting vector. So, now from this, that what we have taken, what we conclude with the formula that we are derived from when the plane wave is moving in the z direction. So, note that the direction of Poynting vector is also in the z direction, same as that of the wave vector. So, and also that is what we observed, and the average value we need to instantaneous value we found, but now we are moving towards to find the average value of Poynting vector. So, that will be similar to how we found out for the x and y direction, that is S average is equal to 1 by 2 into E cross H, which will be given the E and H value is substituted, and by simplifying we got E naught square divided by 2 eta naught into z is what the average value of the Poynting vector. So, finally, we know that the stored electric energy will be, that is W E for electric energy will be 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. So, that the Poynting theorem and with the help of instantaneous and average value, we come to a conclusions that stored electric energy will be equal to stored magnetic energy at any instant. So, we have stored electric energy and also stored magnetic energy. So, this will prove like this, that is W E is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square, and here W m will be 1 by 2 mu naught H square. So, mu naught H square, here H square value will be replaced with E square and eta naught square. So, this is again where we know that 1 by eta naught square will be equal to epsilon naught divided by mu naught. So, the 1 by eta naught square value here it is replaced by epsilon naught and mu naught. So, this where we are going to cancel this mu naught and finally, we are ended up with 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square, which is equal to W, that is the stored electric energy. This is concludes that this proves the Poynting theorem, which says that the stored electric energy is always equal to the stored magnetic energy at any instant. So, next we move on to the important derivation, that is displacement current. It is very simple. So, we are considering some of the things for deriving the displacement current. So, for a capacitor, if we consider if a capacitor, that is two parallel plates or two conductor, if it is placed very near, it is considered as a capacitor. So, here we consider capacitor which is Q is equal to epsilon naught E A. Q value, Q is expression is always equal to epsilon naught E A, where A is the area of the plate and E is the electric field, and I is, we know that is dq by dt. So, here we are substituting a q value here and taking a derivative of q. So, epsilon naught is taken out, which is a constant. So, this d into Ea is differentiated with respect to time, that is dt. So, now we know that the electric flux E A is given by this value. So, given by, so I is equal to flux E A will be always equal to flux, that is E A is substituted by phi E. So, I is now equal to epsilon naught d phi E divided by dt. So, where this current is not being associated with charges here, we can say that a current is not at all dependent on a charge here. So, it is purely dependent on flux. This is called as a displacement current. So, displacement current is what says the current, it does not dependent on electric flux at all. So, this formula, that is I is equal to epsilon naught into d phi E divided by dt is what represent that current is not at all dependent on flux. Hence, we will come to know that ID is equal to mu naught epsilon naught d phi E divided by dt. So, here we are considering mu naught because mu naught will always be considered with the help of the magnetic. When we are speaking electromagnetic wave, which is consist of both electric field and magnetic field, mu naught will always represent the magnetic terms, that is a constant, that is resistant magnetic resistance, field magnetic field resistance. So, mu naught is taken here. And now how this formula is related with the magnetic field. So, magnetic field of a closed surface, integral of B into dl is equal to epsilon naught I plus ID. So, ID is the displacement current, that is a displacement current that we already derived. So, I is the actual current and D is the ID is the displacement current. So, ID I and here I plus ID value we already know above, this has to be substituted. So, below that the magnetic field will be equal to mu naught I plus mu naught epsilon naught into d phi E divided by dt is what it relates with the magnetic fields. So, with the help of displacement current, it is very clear that the current does not dependent on charge, it purely dependent on electric flux. So, the change in the electric flux will change the displacement current, and also with the we can also have the relationship of ID, that is displacement current, with the magnetic field also. So, next we move on to the energy density for an electric field. So, energy density, that is U is energy per unit volume carried by an electromagnetic wave. So, this can be taken as like this, consider U here for an electric field E of the capacitor as given below, is where D is the distance between these two plates and A is the area of the plate, and U is the energy density that we consider for an electric field. So, U is energy density is always equal to that is a U divided by volume. So, U divided by volume is what the U for the consider U will be the energy per unit volume, that is what we have taken. So, AD is what the volume of the plate. So, we know that the capacitance will be always equal to epsilon naught A divided by D, the basic equations of capacitance, and V is always equal to E into D. So, now U is equal to U divided by AD is what U will be, we know that U is equal to 1 by 2 CV square is equal to 1 by 2, that is C value we need to substitute here, that is epsilon naught A into D, and also V value we know that is ED, that is that will become ED square here. So, this value is substituted in the energy per unit volume equation, that is small u. This equations will become like this, and finally, with simplifying after this simplifying this to numerator and denominator, we will come with the energy density equation, that is u is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square. So, this is we already use in Poynting vector, that is W E for an electric field, that is already we termed, and which can also be represented as u also. Now, we come to a clear picture that how this energy density will be derived with the help of two conductors. So, since two conductors will be taken for generating the electromagnetic wave, that is we treat it as a capacitor. So, with the help of basic capacitance equation and the V is equal to ED equation, we can able to derive the energy density equation of the electric field, that is u is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught into E square. So, same way we need to know what is the energy density equation for magnetic field. So, earlier we know that the energy density U for a B field, using the example of a solenoid we consider here, where L will be is equal to mu naught n square A divided by L. L is the length of the solenoid, and U is, we already know, U is equal to 1 by 2 L into I square, and V is equal to AL, and B is a magnetic field which is equal to mu naught Ni divided by L, and NiL is equal to B divided by mu naught. This equation is rearranged like this. So, from this we know that U is equal to U divided by AL. So, we have the AL and U value. So, U value is substituted from this, U value is substituted here, and L square is kept as it is, and finally, by simplifying both numerator and denominator, we find that the energy density for B field will be U is equal to B square divided by 2 mu naught. So, finally, the energy density for electromagnetic wave, which is having a total energy density, that is having the both electric field and as well as magnetic field, that is what we previously derived. The sum of two will be the total energy density, that is U is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square plus B square divided by 2 epsilon naught is what the total energy density. So, since this energy is a shade here, so this is also equal to U is equal to epsilon naught E square, that is equal to B square divided by mu naught. So, this will be always equal, because electric field and magnetic field will going to share each other the energy, that is why we can have this equation also. So, finally, we come to the end of this session. In this session we have discussed the Poynting vector, which states the rate of flow of energy per unit area of a plane wave, which is going to term as a Poynting vector, and also we come up with the conclusion after finding the Poynting, through the help of Poynting vector we can able to find the flow of energy in electromagnetic wave, which states that the stored electrical energy is equal to the stored magnetic energy at any instant. And also we derive the displacement current, that is which will be equal to ID is equal to mu naught epsilon naught into d phi E by dt. And finally, we come across how we are going to derive the density, energy density of electric field, and also energy density of the magnetic field, and finally we come to sum this electric field and magnetic field energy density together to know the total energy in an electric field. So, that will be equal to U is equal to 1 by 2 epsilon naught E square plus B square divided by 2 mu naught. So, some of the questions of this session is: what is Poynting vector, state Poynting theorem, derive displacement current equation. So, the references are www.livescience.com and Mission Science. The textbook references are Fundamentals of Electromagnetics by M.A.W. Maya, and another textbook is Classical Electrodynamics by J.D. Jackson. This ends the session. Thank you.